We are back, and I have a head. I mean, I got head. I mean, I got a header. I got head. Where are you going? Anyways, guys, we are back, and we are installing our Megan, M-E-G-A-N, Megan exhaust header. So I'm going to say eBay brand. We did not buy it ourselves on eBay. I bought it local. $250 headers, Canadian. So that's like $100 American. I can't. But anyways, we are going to put our header on today because, well, that's what we want to do before we start doing our power steering rack, since we have room to do the header. Chris is going to play with my head. Okay, enough joking aside. I don't know what episode this is. 5, 6. But we are working on our cheap kswap EM2, which we're still pretty cheap. Budget is $2,000 American. We will keep going with the budget later on in the video. But Chris just took the RSX header, or RSX sway bar off, because we're using the RSX K-frame, so that way we can get the aftermarket header put on, and then we are going to run our EM2 sway bar, so hopefully it will clear this header. Here, bud. Oh, we also have a brand new Felpro gasket. Honestly, this was free because it came in my element, but you know, I'll add the $10 for budget on that. $10. How much do you think they are? I'll Rock Auto it. So whatever the price is, we will put it on Rock Auto's price, and that will be the price we paid. But it was free. It came with my Honda Element. That's why you don't throw stuff away. You might use it 10 years later. Oh, you're getting it. Oh. Okay, what's it hitting? Needs to start coming up. I think it's better I put the phone down so I can record it after it's up, so I don't scratch my freshly painted engine bay and Chris stops sleeping on the job. So, mid-game, and we are going a different route with our game plan because, well, we're not Honda guys, and Chris is playing with the header, manifold. It's actually a manifold now. So the EM2s take a special swap header that we just learned that you just can't buy one for like an EG or an RSX and stuff like that. It will not fit. So we took the factory exhaust manifold off a K24 just for the ease of doing this and keep it under a budget, because I think the next one up would be a Skunk 2, was it, Chris?
K-swap.
Oh, K-Pro or K-Pro? K-Swap. K-Pro. It's probably a $700-800 header, and nay. So we're going to change that up, and at the same time, as you see right now, I am going to be putting on the stock K24 two-piece intake manifold, so I can run the K24 fuel rail cover type thing to make it look a little cleaner and nicer at the same time, since we're doing this as cheap as possible. Both parts were free because they were already on our TSX that we junked. So we're taking the $250 off our budget that we haven't put on the budget yet because you haven't seen it, and there's no header. Okay, so you see we got the intake manifold on and we got the cover on, because I'm going to run the cover for now because I'm using a stock fuel rail, which I'll adapt to my OEM fuel line. That way it's on as budget can be. Now, the issue we're running into is we installed the K24 intake manifold. They have an electric throttle body. We are going to use an RSX throttle body. And the RSX throttle body has your idler control that hangs down here. So technically, this will not work. We took our RBC and we took the adapter plate off of it, but the adapter plate is different, so we can't use the RBC adapter plate. I don't want to use the 2-liter intake manifold because I don't have the cover to cover it, and I want to cover it where this is going to be just a cheap budget build. I'm not buying fuel rails, I'm not buying regulators, I'm not doing any of that. So I'd like to keep it looking as OEM as possible. That's why I have the cover on. Chris doesn't like that idea, but he knows where I'm coming from, because I'm not going to drop the money for a fuel rail and all that stuff. So we're going to have to hit the U-pull tomorrow. Chris wants to go for some Ford parts. Surprisingly, a Ford, eh? And when I'm there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one off a Honda Accord, which is still a 2.4. They have the idler control valve in the throttle body. So technically, I could just buy the outer throttle body. And I want to use that throttle cable anyway. So I'll just get the 3 of them, and then I'll put it on my budget. So for now, I just set this in place just to see what it looked like. I do like the way it looks. I did set the one strut up in place. I think what we'll do now is we could get the spindle on, and we could get the one axle on this side. That way it's done. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the RSX base axles in this, which are 32 mil, I believe. That came with RSX. That cost me $0. Technically, if you had to buy axles, you'd use EP3 axles or RSX base if you're keeping the 4-bolt like we are. So we're going to swap in this one spindle, and then we have to do, dash has to go in, master cylinder has to go in, slave cylinder has to go in, rack and pinion has to go in. Anything else?
Everything else. I said it.
So yeah, that's what we're going to be at. I do like the strut bar because it came with the car. At one point in time, yes, I'm going to power coat stuff, but it's not part of the budget build. So the strut bar kind of cleans it up. Me and Chris were talking. So the exhaust manifold, you can see there, we're not running the header because surprisingly the EP2s take a completely different header, which we got thinking, or I got thinking, is what we'll end up doing is taking the one off my Element, because I have an Element outside as my daily. We'll put the long tube header on my Element, and then we could put the header and downpipe, so the converter on this car off my Element. Saves me trying to buy a converter for this. And when I was looking at the converters for these are straight down, where the Element ones kind of like go like this, like they have like a little 45 at the end, which should mate up with my exhaust way better, so it's less messing around later on. So we're gonna end up taking that back off and swapping them around. There's a lot of stuff that we gotta do. The biggest thing is if you just got an EP3 exhaust manifold, you can run an EP3 converter, be done with it, it's bolt on and away you go. So hopefully the Element's the same. Chris and I both think the Element should work, and it's just what we have. So I have an exhaust for my Element, so why not put the header on at the same time and just be done with it? I might regret saying this, Chris, but what are you thinking?
Sucks to keep it to a budget.
100%. We literally could be buying like a nice intake manifold. We could ditch this. We could have a nice fuel rail with a regulator going there, all AN lines over there. We could have a nice header, but realistically, it's not worth buying a header because after it's all-wheel drive swapped, a turbo is going to be right here. So there's no point of spending $600-700 American on a header that we're going to use for a month or two before this is all-wheel drive swapped. So you got to keep that in mind. So I'm thinking long-term, like I said, this was phase 1. Phase 2 was EL and paint. Phase 3 is all-wheel drive. Phase 4 is turbo. So with the few setbacks we had, we're going to leave it at that. We're going to get the axle put in place. Next video, we're going to finish off the bodywork and figure out what we're going to do for a header. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and we'll definitely catch you on the next.